Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back. I have another layout using the Follow a Sketch February 24. And today's sketch, I am going back into the archives for my product. I believe that said it was from 2009, and this is a My Mind's Eye product that I've had on my stash for a while, and I used to love My Mind's Eyes collections, and I just couldn't bear to get rid of these scraps, and so I decided to pull them out and see what I could create. And so today's sketch is for day 8, and I am documenting my husband's birthday last year. So he became a grandpa on his birthday, and that was pretty exciting that our daughter was induced. So we did go into the hospital the night before his birthday, and so we did have an idea that it was probably going to be on his birthday, assuming that she would complete her labor and delivery within the 24-hour period of being in the hospital. And she actually had a very quick labor and delivered him on in the morning at about 9 a.m., just before 9 a.m. And so this is Grandpa Joe meeting Cody. And I, whoop, oh, I had a bug come visit me that the weather was starting to get nice around here, and those box elder bugs get into our house all the time, and you know the weather starts to get warm and they come out of hibernation, and they just freak me out every time. So didn't look like I freaked out too much, but I didn't want to squish them on my layout, so I did take care of it with a paper towel, and here we are moving on. So, I did need to, because the way that my husband was facing in the picture, that I did flip the sketch and put uh, basically the L shape of the border papers there on the other side, rather than how they were shown in the sketch. And so this is something I actually haven't done for a while either, is I did decide to use my foam brushes here and add on some ink and ink all the edges of my project. And so I think kind of the focus of 2024 is that I have made a list of either techniques that I haven't done in a while, or products I haven't used, tools maybe I haven't used in a while, and just try and play around with more things that I haven't done in a while, or just new techniques that I've seen and have wanted to try. And so this just seemed like a good layout to pull out those foam brushes and use some of my inks. So here I'm just kind of getting things laid out, and I am going to start building my layout kind of from the top down, because I do eventually want to add some mixed media, because that My Mind's Eye paper, the red one, it pretty much reads like a solid. It does have, when you look at it close, it has some distress marks on it, kind of similar to what the 49 and Market papers look now when you get the foundation papers. And I love creating layouts with those types of papers as my base, even if it's not a white background, that gives me the opportunity to maybe either do some stamping or mix media to give some texture to the background. So here I'm trying to make sure that I have that my top layer of the layout straight, but it's still not stuck down to the layout, because as I said, I do want to add some mixed media to this. But I want to be able to bring the top layer of the layout back and forth all in one piece so I can check the location of the mixed media that I'm going to add. And so as you can see, I didn't quite get things straight, and so I did manage to get that pulled up using my T-square ruler, and just adding that adhesive back down, and now I think I have finally got everything pretty straight anyway. It looks straight in the final layout anyway, so there. Looks like I've finally succeeded. So now I am going to add that brown piece on there. And this time I decide to use instead of the liquid glue, I do decide to use my tape runner this time. So I have a little more time to get that straight, since this is a backwards L-shaped background of my paper strips. And so here's where I start to think about my mixed media, that now that I have the L shape anyway, and where I know essentially where my picture is going to go, that I do start to think about the placement for the mixed media. And this is another stencil that I picked up on the give take table at a crop recently, and this one's been fun. I've actually used it several times since I picked it up. And so here you see me putting my white texture paste on just a scrap piece of packaging that I keep handy. But I didn't want to use white because this is more of a grungy kind of layout since I'm using the inking. And so I used this particular re-inker was from an old Stampin' Up! Re-inker for, I believe it was probably chocolate chip maybe. And so I made my texture paste brown. And really in the end it looks pretty black, but I know it's brown since it goes more with the brown inking that I was using around the edges and everything. So don't be afraid to change the color of your texture paste that you have. If you don't have, 10 pots of different colors of texture paste, you can make your own color that works with your layout. And this way I feel like I know the re-inkers are not going to dry out, but I have had texture paste that has dried out. So this way I'm going to use up a full paste or a full container of my white texture paste before it dries up, because I can customize it using other liquid coloring items that another way that I did color my texture paste one other time is using you can use the pigmented powders as well. I'm also wondering if you could do that with the new Tim Holtz pigmented colored pencils. I don't have any of those, but I might have to pick up a container of those just to try it out and just give me more options to color my texture paste. And maybe even use them for watercoloring in some way. So here I am, I put my picture back in. I've got my L shape there, and I'm trying to decide where my texture paste is going to go on that third side there on the left. And so I was using my hand just kind of take the place of the circle that's going to hold my title. And I do eventually come up with that, and getting all that kind of scraped through my stencil. And now I've got my third area. And now I'm deciding, do I want another area over there? And I do eventually adding just a teeny tiny bit. One, I still had some texture paste left over. And two, I just kind of felt that was just a good area to add just a few more tiny bits of texture paste. So, and the white texture paste that I used, that was actually from Ranger, and it's the opaque matte. and it does dry fairly quickly. So by the time I came back, I went to clean my stencil and my palette knife off, because you do want to do that as soon as you possibly can, because it will dry within the holes and little positive areas that you're filling with the texture paste, that will dry up pretty quickly in there. So I just use water. Once in a while I'll add some soap and just rub my hands against it, and that'll clean your stencil really well. So you can keep using that over and over again. And so here I do finally get ready to put the L-shaped background section down, and now I'm going to add my picture in there. And so here I've jumped ahead, and now I'm getting ready to put my title on. And I used a Starburst die cut that I have, and cut several different sizes from coordinating scraps that I had from the same collection. So I had some creamier bits and more of that wood that I used as kind of the background base for all those circles. And so now that I have those behind the picture and that I know the placement is where I want them to be, then I'm going to glue that down. And even around my picture, I do kind of make a visual triangle there as well with my embellishments. So I have these two circles, and then I will have kind of the second half of my title. So the first half is this loved, and this is actually from an old My Minds collection as well. And they were red, almost velvety chipboard letters. They were pretty cool. And so I did have the letters to spell out loved. And I came up with my title based off of those measuring tapes in that one background paper that I have. And so I decided to go with Loved Beyond Measure. And so here's my trick. I think I might have mentioned this in one other video that I've done so far. And when I have these little tile stickers, that I just grab a small thin strip of scrap paper, and instead of trying to line those up on my page, I just put them on this strip, and then I can move them around as one single word. And so that's what I have done here. And even in this case, that my picture is popped up on foam, and so I did need that stability of it being all on one single piece of paper, so I could add that foam under the bottom part of that beyond word. And so here I do pull out some of these puffy stickers, and I do end up just using a few of the hearts that I add one up by... I've also added a few other stickers that I cut out, that there's a little hello sticker and then that binder clip sticker at the top as well. And then I kind of take a look at these word stickers. I don't end up using any of those. These are a really old sticker sheet that I have had on my stash for a while, so I did pull this Joy wooden banner off and decide to include that on my layout, and ultimately it does end up there. And then I had some wood veneer stickers as well, and I believe I use two of those that I add a wooden heart and a little wood piece that says life can't get any better. And then my final touch of mixed media is to use this Nuvo, what's it called? Nuvo Sparkle Spray. And if you like the Heidi Swapp spray, that you will love this, that it's called Cream Gold. And I just do some splatters around the layout. And really I just kind of focused on where I had the other mixed media. And I get that sprinkled down, and that is pretty much going to do it for my layout today. So if you wouldn't mind, if you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, if you have any questions, leave those comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.